Calm is a competitive advantage because it allows a person to operate at full mental capacity while others are operating under emotional interference. In any field where decisions matter, business, academics, leadership, sports, negotiations, creative work, the difference between success and failure is often not intelligence alone, but the ability to think clearly under pressure. Many individuals prepare skills, knowledge, and strategies. Yet, when tension rises, they lose access to those abilities because anxiety disrupts concentration. The calm individual, however, retains clarity when conditions become intense, and that clarity creates consistent advantage. Pressure changes behavior. It speeds breathing, narrows attention, and pushes the mind toward immediate reaction instead of careful evaluation. For someone untrained in emotional control, this shift leads to rushed decisions, missed details, and preventable mistakes. Calmness works differently. It keeps attention wide enough to see the full situation, not just the most alarming part. It preserves reasoning instead of replacing it with panic. Because of this, the calm competitor often performs closer to their true ability, while others perform below theirs, simply because emotional turbulence interferes with execution. In environments where many people possess similar technical skills, emotional stability becomes the factor that separates results. Two individuals may study the same material, train the same hours, and prepare the same strategies. Yet the one who remains steady during crucial moments will consistently outperform the one who becomes overwhelmed. Calmness ensures that preparation is actually usable when it matters. Without calmness, preparation stays theoretical, blocked by hesitation or impulsive reactions at the decisive moment. Another dimension of calmness is perception. When emotions run high, perception becomes distorted. Minor setbacks feel catastrophic. Small obstacles appear larger than they truly are. The mind exaggerates threats and underestimates solutions. Calmness restores accurate perspective. It allows a person to evaluate difficulty realistically instead of dramatically. This realistic assessment leads to practical responses rather than emotional over time. Repeatedly responding with balanced judgment builds a reputation for reliability, and reliability itself becomes a professional asset that attracts trust, responsibility, and opportunity. Calm individuals also communicate more effectively. In tense conversations, many people focus on defending themselves rather than understanding the situation. Voices rise, arguments escalate, and clarity disappears. A calm speaker listens carefully, chooses words deliberately, and keeps discussions productive even when others are emotional. This ability transforms negotiations, teamwork, and leadership situations. The person who remains composed often guides the direction of the conversation simply because others feel more confident following. Someone who appears steady rather than someone who appears reactive. Calmness also protects long-term decision-making. Many mistakes occur not because people lack intelligence, but because they act during moments of emotional intensity. Sudden anger leads to harmful statements. Sudden fear leads to missed opportunities. Sudden excitement leads to unrealistic commitments. Calm individuals slow the moment enough to ensure that decisions align with long-term goals, rather than temporary feelings. This habit compounds over years, creating outcomes that appear strategic and disciplined, while others wonder why their own progress feels inconsistent. In competitive environments, calmness also reduces energy waste. Emotional reactions consume mental stamina. Stressful overthinking drains concentration that could have been used for performance. Individuals who remain composed conserve cognitive resources, allowing them to stay focused for longer periods. Overextended challenges long projects, tournaments, business growth, academic programs. Endurance becomes decisive. Calmness supports endurance because it prevents unnecessary mental exhaustion. There is also a subtle psychological influence that calmness creates in others. When someone consistently demonstrates stability under pressure, people begin to assume competence even before results appear. Teams feel safer collaborating with them. Leaders trust them with responsibility. Clients feel more confident relying on them. This perception advantage often opens doors earlier than skill recognition alone would. Calm presence signals control, and perceived control encourages others to invest trust. Calmness does not mean absence of urgency. It means urgency directed through control rather than chaos. A calm competitor can still act quickly, but their speed is organized. Their movements are intentional rather than scattered. They accelerate when necessary and pause when observation is required. This flexibility allows them to adapt more effectively than individuals who either rush constantly or hesitate constantly. Balanced response becomes a strategic advantage that multiplies across many decisions. Another important aspect is recovery from mistakes. Everyone makes errors, but emotional reactions often turn small errors into larger ones. Panic after a mistake leads to further misjudgments. Individuals correct errors faster because they remain focused on solutions instead of dwelling on frustration. Quick recovery prevents damage from spreading and keeps performance stable across long sequences of actions. In competitive scenarios, the ability to stabilize quickly after setbacks often determines final outcomes more than initial performance. Calmness also improves learning speed. When individuals react emotionally to criticism, they resist feedback, defend weaknesses, and slow their improvement. Calm learners evaluate feedback objectively. They identify useful information even when delivery is imperfect. This openness accelerates skill development, giving them an advantage that grows over time. While others spend energy protecting their ego, calm individuals spend energy strengthening their capability. In leadership contexts, calmness becomes even more powerful. Teams look to leaders for emotional signals. If leaders panic, teams panic. If leaders remain composed, teams stabilize. Decisions made in group environments become more rational when the central figure models emotional control. Over time, organizations and groups begin associating calm leadership with reliability, further strengthening the influence of those who demonstrate steadiness. Calmness also strengthens resilience in uncertain environments. When outcomes are unpredictable, individuals who rely on emotional confidence alone struggle because uncertainty constantly challenges their expectations. Calm individuals, however, operate from internal stability rather than external certainty. They accept unpredictability without losing direction. This allows them to continue functioning effectively even when conditions change rapidly, creating an advantage in fast-moving industries and competitive fields where adaptability determines survival. The development of calmness requires repeated exposure to pressure combined with intentional control. It is not created by avoiding difficulty but by practicing composure within difficulty. Each time a person faces stress and chooses controlled response instead of impulsive reaction, neural patterns strengthen, making calmness easier in the future. Over months and years, this practice transforms emotional stability from a conscious effort into an automatic trait. Observers may assume such individuals are naturally unshakable, unaware that their steadiness was built through countless moments of deliberate restraint. When many competitors possess similar resources, knowledge, and ambition, the deciding factor often becomes who maintains clarity longest. Calm individuals continue seeing opportunities when others see only stress. They continue identifying strategy when others focus only on urgency. They continue executing preparation when others abandon preparation due to emotional fatigue. This consistency gradually separates them from equally talented peers, creating performance gaps that appear surprising from the outside but are actually the predictable result of emotional discipline operating quietly across many situations, many decisions, many interactions, allowing the composed individual to move steadily through intense environments without losing direction, without wasting motion, without surrendering focus to distraction, continuing to operate with controlled attention while the surrounding atmosphere grows louder and more reactive, maintaining precision in thinking, steadiness in communication, and reliability in execution while others cycle through emotional fluctuations that interrupt their progress, ensuring that when decisive moments arrive, the calm competitor remains fully present, fully aware, fully capable of using everything they have prepared, because nothing inside them is interfering with what they are able to do at that exact moment.